All right, so good evening and welcome to our session today. Thank y'all for taking the time to join our discussion on bone health. All of y'all know my name, but my name's Courtney, and I also represent the Foods and Nutrition Department at the University of Georgia. I'm attempting to gain information about behaviors that may affect your overall bone health. And so I've invited people with similar experiences to share their perceptions and ideas on the topic. You were selected because you have certain things in common that are of particular interest to me. I'm particularly interested in your views because you represent other first-year female students residing in UGA residence halls. And so I'm relying on y'all to help me understand the factors that contribute to your bone health based on your own experience. Sorry, let me make sure. Okay, I was just making sure I was recorded. But tonight we'll be discussing the barriers and supports that may contribute to your overall bone health. This includes knowledge on calcium-rich foods, attitudes regarding dairy, dietary patterns, food availability, and other various factors. And just so y'all know, there are no right or wrong answers, but just rather differing points of view. So please feel free to share your point of view, even if it differs from what others have said. Before we begin, I would like to share a few ground rules that will help with our discussion. So just please be sure to speak up, and only one person should talk at a time since we are recording the session, because if more people are talking at one time, it can get kind of garbled and hard to hear. But yeah, so we will be on a first name basis tonight, and in our later reports, there will not be any names attached to comments, so you can be assured of complete confidentiality. Please keep in mind that we're just as interested in negative comments as positive comments, because at times the negative comments are the most helpful. So our session will last about half an hour, and we won't be taking a formal break. So we'll go ahead and get started. So basically, I'll just find out a little bit about each of y'all, and I'll let us each introduce ourselves and just state your name, your major, and what influenced your decision to attend UGA. So I'll go ahead and start out. I already told y'all my name's Courtney, but I am a dietetics major, and the reason that I chose to go to UGA was, I've always been a Bulldogs fan, but really it came down to there was only two programs or two schools that offered the program that I needed to do, and that was either UGA or Georgia Southern. And so I really liked Athens, so I chose UGA. But one of y'all can just decide which one wants to unmute themselves, and you can introduce yourselves.
I can go. I'm Ashley, and I decided to go to UGA for several different reasons. One is just in-state tuition and the scholarships offered. Two, my brother goes here. He's a senior, so I thought it would be nice to have family that goes here, and it has been really nice. And three, I'm interested in education, and I know that the education program here is really good, and I'm also interested in the Double Dogs pathway, and not many other universities offer a master's program like the Double Dogs does, so I was really into that as well.
My name is Jessica. I am a dietetics major also, and I chose UGA mainly for in-state as well, but also I heard a lot about their dietetics program, as well as the Family and Consumer Sciences College. And I don't know, I always liked Georgia, so it all lined up together really nicely. So yeah.
Okay, so you guys can hear me. I'm really sorry. My name is Bailey, and I am an intended finance major. I came to UGA because the business is top notch and in-state tuition, and I just wanted to come here since I was in like the fifth grade. So, could you guys?
That was kind of cool because it was kind of like she got like a round of applause, like, but but that was cool. All right, so I'll go ahead and start. Basically, I'm just going to be asking some very like open-ended questions just to kind of get the conversation rolling. But the first thing is I want y'all to do is just think back to when you first moved to UGA and began to make more independent food choices. How has y'all's food choices changed compared to when you lived with your family, if y'all have noticed anything?
I guess I can go first. Especially during quarantine, I like at home made a lot of my own foods and lunches and stuff, and I made like this one hummus. It's like a imitation tuna salad for like vegetarians. It's like with chickpeas and stuff. So coming here, I felt like I like lost like being able to eat what I wanted and like healthier stuff. Just because being vegetarian here has been really hard. Because I mean I can either eat like tofu or like broccoli every day. So I think just like coming here, me and my roommate have been like going to the grocery store a lot more and like cooking in our dorms just because both of us are very like food conscious. She's been vegan for a while and I've been vegetarian, so like I don't know, it's been different having to like go to the dining halls and eat what they have as opposed to me being able to cook what I want and like get what I want out of food. So
Yeah, like honestly though, like I had been thinking about that just in the dining halls because I'm not vegetarian or vegan, but like with my major, like I'm well aware of what those things mean, and like I have thought about that, and I guess your options like would be limited in the dining halls.
yeah, and like my roommate, she's been vegetarian for like 6-7 years, and yesterday was the first time she ate chicken because she like went to a workout class and was like, I feel like I'm gonna faint, like I feel like I'm not getting enough protein and stuff. So I don't know, I was kind of shocked that I was like she got put in college and like had to start eating chicken because she needed the protein.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have either of y'all noticed anything?
Yeah. Okay. So really and truly, like when quarantine started, I kind of was like, okay, I think I'm gonna start like. Well, I played sports my whole life, and I never cared about my diet ever. And then whenever I was like, okay, I'm finished with sports, like this isn't gonna just keep me in shape because I'd never worried about it. Like, and then whenever I got up here, especially, I don't have a meal plan, so I rely on like I go to Trader Joe's like once a week to get food, and I really like they have like pre-made like grilled chicken salads, and I eat those like probably literally 4 times a week. But I don't I'm not like super cautious about what I eat as much as I should, but I definitely take it more into account now. But whenever I come home, I never eat healthy because my family doesn't eat healthy.
I can go. So, like I was very active throughout high school with sports, and so the last sport that I did was swim. So that ended like the very end of January. So I always like gained a little bit of weight after that. But like when quarantine hit and I couldn't like really work out as much as I used to, like I was just stuck in the house and I was snacking and I gained some weight. So when I got to UGA, like I've lost several pounds, partially because the food at the dining halls isn't as I don't know, there's not as much to offer as I was hoping there would be. But I'm also not snacking as much here. Like I'm just busy. I'm a lot more active. I'm working out more. And I always try to be like cautious about what I eat. Like I don't eat a lot of junk food. And whenever I go to the dining hall, like I always try to eat like lean meats and try to get vegetables, but they really don't have that many options. So I'll get like the salad every once in a while, but really it's just lettuce. It's not like that great of a salad. And so I'll just try to be cautious as far as that goes. But I'm definitely not eating as much here as I would if I were at the house.
Okay, so
Yeah, sorry, Courtney.
oh no, you go ahead. No, it's for y'all. Like I'm here to hear what y'all have to say.
I've noticed that too. Whenever I came home the first time, I noticed that I had lost like 5 pounds. And I think it's mainly just because where I'm from, you drive everywhere you go, like you don't walk. And then we walk so much more here. And I go to Ramsey every day. And so then a part of me was like, well, am I not eating enough? And I don't, because I never snack, like you said, Ashley. So I definitely have seen the same changes as you in that aspect.
Yeah, going off of that, just specifically, have any of y'all noticed any like changes in your consumption of dairy products? So like things like milk, yogurt, or cheese or anything like that? Or you may not have really eaten much of those at home back when you lived at home, but has any of that changed for you?
Sorry, I can go, but I can't remember the last time I drank a cup of milk. Milk is kind of gross in my opinion. Like ever since I was in the 8th grade, I've just been drinking like almond milk and coconut milk. So I'd put that in like my cereal and oatmeal. So when I go here and like I just want cereal, I always get like the almond milk that they offer. And the only dairy that I would eat would be cheese every once in a while. So I guess like if there's a dish at Bolton that has cheese in it, I'll eat that. Or if it's in like the Grubhub turkey and cheese sandwich. But as far as the yogurts go, I would eat like quite a bit of Greek yogurt when I was home, but I haven't had yogurt here in forever. And I mean, I know it's like a good source of protein too, but I don't know. I just haven't eaten a lot of dairy since I've been here.
See, and I'm like the total opposite. Oh, sorry, Jessica.
You can go. You're fine.
I'm like the total opposite. I literally, like, whenever I was at home, I drank milk like every single day. And then, I mean, I eat cheese all the time, but I don't drink as much milk, but I'll get like the little quart things of it from the grocery store. That's it, though.
Yeah. Kind of going off that, at home, I never really drank milk. In here, I don't really drink milk either. I was a big cheese eater. Like for breakfast, I would always eat bread with cheese. And so I've been doing that here in my dorm. Like my mom either sends me bread or I go and like get bread from the grocery store. So I do that when I do eat breakfast in the morning. So I do eat a lot of cheese, but I don't really drink a lot of milk, which I know is probably bad for you, but I never really liked it. So I don't know.
Yeah, my next question, I think some of y'all have already kind of answered it with that too, but I was just going to ask what attitudes, preferences, or restrictions you have regarding dairy products, because I know some people are lactose intolerant or like lactose sensitive, or maybe they're allergic, or some people are vegan and it's just not something that they're able to consume. So, but Ashley, you kind of answered that. You said you just didn't really like milk.
Yeah, and like I'm not lactose intolerant. It's just I feel like dairy does like make me bloated though, and I don't know. I just prefer almond milk and coconut milk over like dairy milk. But like I said, like I'll eat cheese and Greek yogurt every once in a while, and then ice cream like very rarely. But just like I will eat dairy, but I guess it's just the milk thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't know. My problem, like I never really drank milk a lot when I was a kid, and my mom always like made me drink like the orange juice that had the calcium in it, because I just never got enough calcium from like milk. Like when I was like really little, I would drink it, but I don't know. It kind of grosses me out. I like watched a lot of like documentaries about like health and like the way that like the food industry like treats like animals and stuff. So ever since then, I've cut like a lot of like animal products out. I'm not like vegan because I don't think I could do that with like cheese and stuff, but I've tried. So that's like my perspective on the whole thing.
All right, so I'll go ahead and read the next question. So what are some various ways y'all know of to increase your calcium intake and absorption? So like any specific foods or activities you know of, like, or you've heard of to increase calcium intake or absorption?
Don't bananas have calcium in them? I don't know if that's true. I feel like I've heard
They have
that.
potassium, right?
Oh,
Bananas?
potassium. That's
I
what
think
it is.
I've
I
always
mean,
just been told to drink milk.
yeah. I don't know. I haven't really heard much about like things where like other places to get calcium. I guess like
Yeah, me neither.
like orange juice. I've heard that, but I think that's pretty much it.
I know you have to be like kind of cautious with some like vitamin supplements because they're not like that
Yeah.
great and like effective. But I mean, I'd take like a multivitamin or like vitamins that contain magnesium, zinc, and calcium, I believe. And I just take that like 3 times a week just because. But I'm not like reliant on it. I don't think it's like a miracle worker, but I guess if that's effective, that's like a way to get extra calcium. But yeah, I mean, I guess just consuming dairy products as well. I'm not too sure about how to absorb like the function like into your body more effectively, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I just put that in there because I think with vitamin D and calcium, and a lot of those go kind of hand in hand. And I know a lot of people here, you know, like if you get out in the sun, that helps with vitamin D, which can in turn help with calcium, or like consuming certain foods can help with the absorption. I just put that in there just in case y'all had heard anything. But yeah, those are all good to hear. The next question, or unless y'all had anything else, I'll move on to the next question. Okay. Is how do you think calcium-rich foods such as dairy impact your health?
I mean, I've always like growing up, you know, it was always like just drink milk, you won't break a bone. And I mean, like I've never broken a bone. Don't know if that really has anything to like do with it or not, but I think it's definitely helped. Like when I've been really active my whole life, so I feel like having a high intake of calcium has probably helped with that for sure. But I don't know about much of like a huge impact or anything like that. I don't know that much about it, I guess, would really be a better answer.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I'm looking for. I just want to know like what y'all have heard, or like what, if y'all have any idea, just to get an idea of what assumptions y'all may have had about it.
I think like I drank milk as a kid. Like that was a big thing. Probably just about every day. And so maybe that did help. I still broke several bones and I fractured several bones. I don't know if I was a rough child or if I just had weak bones. I'm not sure. But I mean, I did like consume a lot of dairy products when I was younger, but I feel like from like 8th grade on, like up until this point of my life, like I don't drink or consume dairy as frequently as I used to as a child when like my bones were developing. So maybe it's more important when you're younger. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the one statement, like, oh, drink milk and then your like bones will be stronger or whatever, is like pretty much the only thing I've really heard about it. Like I feel like they don't really like if you go to like your doctor or something and they're like, oh, are you drinking milk? And then you're like, oh yeah, and they're like, oh okay, like then you're good or whatever. But I don't really feel like there's a lot of like they don't really tell you like a lot about the subject. At least I feel like they just like have one blanket statement about it. At least that's my experience.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's like how I've like growing up. I was just told like drink milk. The doctor never said anything about it really. So
Yeah.
Do y'all remember, this is kind of like, this kind of goes along with it, but do y'all remember the Got Milk like campaign? Like
Yeah.
I just remember like getting pencils in elementary school that said Got Milk, and like looking back, like it's deep in my memory. I just remember that for some reason. But
Yeah, posters in school too.
Yeah. So y'all have all kind of touched on this a little bit, so I have like a vague idea, but what do your consumption patterns of dairy look like? So your frequency, so like do you have it like daily, or is it more like once a week type thing, or like every other day, or never?
So I I have a little bit of dairy every day. It's not that much. Like for breakfast, I had like almond milk and well, no, that's not dairy. Sorry, that's I guess a source of calcium, but not dairy. Sorry. For lunch, I had like a piece of pizza with like a little bit of cheese on it, but nothing else. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna have for dinner, but really the only source of dairy that I had is that little bit of cheese. And I would say that's really all that I get every day is just if there's cheese and anything at the dining hall. So just a little bit daily.
I guess usually like when I do eat breakfast, it's usually like a bread with cheese and butter. So like I guess I get quite a lot of cheese. And then I usually get like the yogurts from the dining hall and bring them back and then add like granola and like fruit and stuff. So I do that like sometimes for lunch and breakfast. So I guess like I mean like every day really, but I don't think it's like a huge amount. So
I probably have dairy. I probably have like a glass of milk like 3 times a week. But then I may have like some chips and queso like from Barbaritos, or I'll get yogurt and add stuff to it. And then like today I had a club sandwich for lunch and it had like cheese on it. So I probably have a little bit every day, but I drink milk a lot. So
All right. So even though like dairy tends to be like the most common like form people are getting their calcium in, there are other foods that are rich in calcium, and I'll tell y'all some of those. But so what are your thoughts on like beans, leafy greens like collards and spinach, or foods that are fortified with calcium like nut milk, breakfast cereals, orange juice, and bread?
So are you asking us like if we consume those?
Yeah, or just like, cause you know, like a lot of people have a pretty strong feeling about dairy, like they're just not crazy about dairy, but like, yeah, if you like those foods, any of those, and if so, which ones, and like if you tend to eat them.
So before I came to college, like I would eat spinach just about every single day. Like I love spinach so much. And now like I'm just not getting hardly any of it. Like I can't remember the last time I had spinach unless like the dining hall serves it and it's like saturated with oil or it's like boiled and I feel like all the nutritional value is gone. So I mean, I guess I can't really consume those alternatives here. Like I said, like I'll have almond milk maybe like once a week. But as far as the beans go, I guess if they have, you did say beans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the salad that they have has like chickpeas in it, garbanzo beans. So I guess I'll eat that every once in a while, and then just whatever kind of beans they serve. But I guess I'm not really able to take advantage of those alternatives here.
yeah, like I guess before I came here, I would eat a lot of. I don't know if lentils have to do with any of that, but I would eat a lot of lentils just because I always needed iron because of my vegetarian. This doesn't relate, but I'm just like I needed the lentils, so I would eat a lot of lentils and then like black beans and stuff. And then I used to drink a lot of orange juice. I mean, I still do. Like sometimes I'll go to the dining hall and get orange juice. But that was like my main like kind of like source of calcium because I didn't drink milk. I would drink a lot of orange juice. So yeah.
I'm not really a big beans person at all, but I do eat spinach all the time. I love to like what's it called? Spring mix, like lettuce. I like that a lot, but I love spinach. I'm also like I struggle with anemia really bad, and I've always been told that spinach has a lot of iron in it. I never knew it had calcium as well, but yeah, I eat spinach very often, even here, just because I get it at Trader Joe's. Because I don't know, it's very different not having a meal plan for sure. I think that's helped with my diet for like being able to go and choose what I'm getting, especially like if I make myself go to Trader Joe's, like not everything's healthy there, but it's a lot easier to get something healthier there, I guess.
Yeah, That you honestly that was a perfect transition because that goes to my next question. I was just going to ask, how has the college environment positively impacted your food choices, with regard to dairy and calcium rich foods, or negative, either one?
I would say kind of negative. I mean, they do serve milk. So for the calcium aspect, I could get a carton of milk every day and drink it, but I don't like milk. So it just kind of depends on what they serve with dairy in it and if I'm interested in that for the day. And as far as calcium alternatives, it's kind of on the downside. And yeah.
Yeah, personally, I don't know. I never really thought about dairy that much even before I came here. My mom would eat a lot of yogurt, but so I would just eat the yogurt that she bought, but I was never actively trying to eat dairy except for cheese. So I guess it hasn't really been positive, but I don't think it's been negative necessarily, just because I never really consumed that much dairy in the first place. So I don't know.
It's been pretty positive so far. Just like I said, I it's easier for me now, I guess, to choose healthier foods going to the grocery store. But at the same time, negatively, people want to go to cookout and get milkshakes all the time, which is dairy, but it's not good for you. It's got a lot of sugar and stuff in it. But I mean, nothing really crazy or drastic, I guess.
That's one thing that I think about, or even I personally deal with, even though I'm not a freshman, but I have a mini fridge in my dorm, and so I I tend to drink almond milk just because that's what I prefer, but I go through it really fast because I tend to eat cereal a lot, and I just don't have enough room to store it in my, I have to strategically plan what I buy to make sure everything can fit in my refrigerator because it's so tiny. But I also noticed they do have vending machines in Crestwell, it's near the ping pong table, but they actually have milk down there. And normally I tend to not get something like that at a vending machine, but there was one day I was craving chocolate super bad, and I was like, I'm just gonna get some chocolate milk. But so there's only 2 more questions left. And it's, if you could change anything in your environment at UGA to impact the availability and your overall consumption of dairy products, what would it be? I know that's kind of a big question, but just if there's anything that you could change or be hey, the dining hall should do this, or housing should do this, what would you like?
It's hard for me to say. Go
sorry.
ahead, Ashley.
Okay. Well, cheese platters. If the dining hall offered even little cubes of cheese, because I love cheese, so I would definitely eat that. And then yogurt, because they offer plain Greek yogurt, but plain Greek yogurt is hard for me to eat. And maybe if they had packets of granola or little packets of honey too, that would help a lot. And they have strawberry yogurt, but then that's I haven't really read the nutrition label, but sometimes whenever it's the flavored yogurts, they add a lot of artificial additives to it, or sugar. So I don't know, just maybe alternatives, and then maybe some more dairy alternatives too, because the only almond milk that they have is vanilla with added sugar. And I usually get the unsweetened original when I was at the house, so it had no sugar, nothing added to it. So just a variety like that.
It's hard for me to really comment on it just because I don't eat in the dining halls. So I don't really have an answer for you on that one. I'm sorry.
Oh no, that's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something, but I don't know. I guess it's hard for me because I don't really think about dairy that much. I don't know. Cuz I guess I don't really have an opinion necessarily, because I feel my roommate and I do go out to the grocery store a lot and get stuff. So I guess the dairy that is lacking at the dining halls, I have like in our mini fridge. So like I have cheese, we have almond milk. So I don't know. I guess I don't really have something on like dairy that I would change necessarily.
Anything like, it doesn't have to be dairy, it could be any of those calcium rich foods too, if you had any suggestions, like with the spinach or
I mean,
fortified
I guess
foods.
like vegetable wise, they either have like broccoli, which is like unseasoned, which is like I really enjoy that because then you can just like add your salt, or they have like the weird, like at Bolton they have like green beans, but they have like weird seasonings on them. So like a lot of my friends and I have been talking about like more variety of like different vegetables because they always have like the basic vegetables or whatever. I don't know. I think more dishes that involve like different vegetables would be nice, personally.
All right, and so for the last question, it's if I were to design a curriculum for first year females, what kinds of content would interest and be beneficial to y'all? So like, do y'all think that like learning more about like calcium rich foods in regard to like bone health would be helpful, or like if not, what are some other like topics that interest y'all regarding nutrition?
Personally,
Jessica. Yeah.
oh, sorry.
No, you're
Personally, I find all of that interesting just because I in dietetics, so I find all of it really fascinating. And like coming from like before, I would eat meat like every single day. Just like my family is German, so we would like, just stereotypical, like we would eat meat a lot. And then I just like ventured out and watched a bunch of documentaries about like health, and like I just think it would be very interesting to like even offer just like a basic course about like health and like healthy eating and all of that, just because I feel like there might be a lot of kids that like don't even really understand like where everything's coming from and like how foods affect your body and stuff. So I mean, maybe not as specific, but just like a general course would be interesting too.
Okay. Anything else?
that the calcium health part is important, and just like going over like options in the dining hall or easy meals, or like foods that you can buy from stores and how they benefit your body, and maybe just like easy recipes. And also like I feel like we're kind of in control of this because we all seem to be like pretty cautious about our health, but like in college, like the freshman 15 people like to splurge, so maybe just bringing awareness to binge eating certain foods and just having that freedom to go out and eat whatever you want all the time, and just realizing like the harm that can do to your body. Like, I mean, it's okay to splurge like every once in a while, but just like bringing awareness to what that can do if you do that like every single night, late at night, right before you go to bed or something. Just bringing awareness to that too.
Yeah, I agree. And like I'm from the South, almost Florida. So literally everything people eat here is just like so greasy, and I almost like resent those kind of foods just because like I've smelt it my whole life and I almost like hate it now. And I don't know much about like food and health and how I know like your basics, I guess you could say, but I would be really curious to learn about bone health and just how different foods like affect your like even this is it's weird to word it. Like I didn't know anything about like how spinach had lots of iron in it. Whenever like I found out I had anemia real bad, and it's like that's like a fixable thing. Not trying to be dramatic here, but it's like it's really interesting whenever that happened, and I learned so much more about what different foods had iron in it, and like bananas have potassium and help slow your heart rate down. So I'd be interested to learn about basic health for food, and like Ashley said with the whole freshman 15, just like learning what that kind of stuff can do to your body.
Yeah, I think those are all like good points. I'll definitely consider all of those because I am going to have to make a curriculum. So I'll definitely keep those in mind. But yeah, that wraps up our meeting. But I thank y'all, and I really appreciate y'all for being willing to like give y'all's time and go through this discussion with me. So that concludes our meeting though.